What is up, everyone? Welcome back. Welcome back. I have something absolutely amazing, mind-boggling, something that is going to give you goosebumps in this video. You need to crank up the volume and pay attention for the next 10 minutes or so. You're about to miss one of the biggest money shifts of our lifetime. US lawmakers are pushing the SEC to let crypto inside of your 401k like right now. Imagine every single paycheck in America ciphering a slice of cash straight into crypto automatically week after week after week. That is a fire hose of new money and it doesn't stop. And that's just the start. Because we've got investing legends calling for a $1 million Bitcoin. We've got Ripple quietly locking in deals with the biggest banks on earth. And HSBC, yes, HSBC is going live with tokenized deposits tied to Ripple's orbit. I'm telling you right now, this isn't speculation. This is a signal, and if you hold XRP, you're about to see why everything happening right now funnels directly to where we are headed. Folks, if you haven't locked in your one-on-one call, if you don't know what you're doing, if you're lost, if you need a strategy, if you need guidance, now's the time. These spots are filling fast and they are super limited. This is linked down below. Book your call. Let's get it mapped out. Let's get it figured out. And let's start looking at financial freedom. Bitcoin, $113,067. It's currently up 0.28%. Ethereum coming in at about 4,200. And XRP, $2.86. Not too much has changed from this morning's video. Total cryptocurrency market cap, 3.9 trillion. We got a lot to cover, so we're getting right into it. We're going to kick it off with this. The 401k bombshell. Lawmakers are urging the SEC Chair Paul Atkins to follow Trump's executive orders and to allow crypto inside of 401ks. Now, today, not in 2 years, not in 6 months. That's not just bullish. That is a structural change in how retirement money flows. Here's why. 401ks, your retirement accounts, these aren't like individual traders that are aping in when the markets are green. Every single week, paychecks get sliced, contributions get made, assets get bought. If crypto is an option, that means a constant, steady stream of capital flooding into crypto, rain or shine. And you want to know what assets you're going to want to be holding? The ones that are going to be offered in these 401ks, these retirement plans. And guess what? The beauty about it, doesn't matter rain or shine, because the money just keeps flowing every single week. Think about it like this. Netflix doesn't care if you're watching tonight or next week. Your subscription payment hits every month regardless. 401k flows are the exact same. They're automatic, relentless, and over time, they build mountains. And what happens when millions of workers across the US suddenly have crypto as a retirement choice? Well, it's not a question if the price rises. It's how fast does the price rise? Institutional rails plus retail contributions equal the most predictable form of demand that crypto has ever seen. Then we get this, Gary Cardone's out there. He's calling for a $1 million Bitcoin.
I was suggesting that over the next 2 to 4 years, we're going to see an exponential move from Bitcoin. I think it's going to break all these models. And in this fourth cycle, you get the biggest run, which is against what everyone else is saying, right? Everyone's saying, hey, look, it's going to flatten out. We're going to lose the upside here because the volatility is tamped down. But my point is, hey, when you came in here at 30.
So speaking of demand, if that's not enough demand from 401ks, Cardone, he's calling for a 10x here. He's literally saying it will break all the models, and he's not wrong. The old models, the stock to flow, Halving cycles, technical charts, they were built when Bitcoin was retail driven and we were in the wild, wild west. We're staring at ETFs, retirement flows, sovereign adoption. This is a whole new ball game. It's like when Amazon went from being the bookstore that might fail to the company hosting half the internet. At some point, the models built on old data, guess what? They just stop working. And here's the kicker. When Bitcoin rockets to 1 million, everything tied to real utility, like XRP, it just doesn't rise, everyone. It reprices because institutions won't just hold Bitcoin. They'll demand infrastructure that can actually move value globally. And guess what? That's Ripple's lane. Which brings us to this, the banks, and specifically the bank, HSBC. Chris Larson, the co-founder of Ripple, well, he used to work at HSBC. And now, well, HSBC is rolling out cross-border tokenized deposits with Ant International, aka Ant Financial. The group that's behind Alipay? Well, guess what? Ant already runs remittances on Ripple's tech. And Ripple's partner, Finablar, well, they inked a blockchain remittance deal with Alipay. Don't believe me? We come over here, Ledger Insights article, bang, back in 2019, Ripple's partner Finablar inks Alipay blockchain remittance deal. I want you to connect the dots here. And we'll take this a step further because if we look at what Google tells us over here in their little AI section, it tells you that Ant uses blockchain for Alipay's cross-border remittance services. So when we connect everything together, the biggest global banks are experimenting with tokenized deposits. The largest payment networks in Asia are running blockchain pilots. And Ripple is already baked into the cake. This isn't hype. This is financial plumbing being rebuilt in real time. And XRP is the liquidity that makes those pipes actually work. And your man, Chris Larson, is tied in here. But it gets even deeper because then you got David Schwartz, Ripple's CTO, spelling it out for you. He said banks don't really care about payments. What they care about is tokenized commodities like gold. That's where Ripple's acquisition of Matico comes in. Because Ripple didn't just buy some random custody firm. They bought the team that secures assets for Swiss banks. And custody, well, that market is projected to hit $10 trillion by 2030. Yes, $10 trillion by 2030. Folks, that's not retail speculation. That's institutional infrastructure. And Ripple is positioning itself to be the vault, the safe, the Fort Knox of digital assets for banks. And if you control the vault, guess what? You control the flow. And here's where it all comes together. Actually, let's listen to David so you can hear David talking about it and you don't gotta take my word for it.
Market, something like $10 trillion by 2030. And, the increases in tokenization. In the early days of Ripple, another thing I learned talking to banks is that a lot of banks don't care about payments. And they're looking at things like digital asset insurance. They're looking at tokenized commodities like gold. So I think those are tokenized securities. HSBC is extremely interested in those types of projects.
There you go. There is Schwartz talking about, but then we get over to this. Here's where it all ties together. We are leaving the early speculative phase of crypto, the casino era, and we are entering the institutional utility phase. We're talking the 401k flows, billion-dollar custody, tokenized deposits, global payments. This isn't about meme coins anymore. This is about trillions of dollars settling across blockchains. And on the scoreboard, the XRP ledger has more real utility than any chain out there. RLUSD, Ripple stablecoin, is the missing link. And XRP, well, that's the settlement asset, the bridge that ties everything together. Mark my words on this. The headlines today are the C's. The harvest is XRP settling trillions. So zoom out for a second, everyone. 401ks could soon funnel retirement money straight into crypto week after week. Investing legends are calling for Bitcoin to rip to over $1 million and to shatter the old models that are being used out there to predict the price. HSBC, Ant Financial, Alipay, They're already building on tokenized rails where Ripple is a silent partner. And then Ripple purchased Medico to control the custody market that's about to hit 10 trillion. And your speculative casino era of crypto, it's ending. The utility era is here. Every road, leads back to the same point. XRP, the bridge asset, the settlement layer. The coin institutions won't be able to avoid when trillions flow through the system. So while the world is still waking up and smelling that Folgers coffee brewing in the morning, you're already here. You already know. And when the dust settles, it's going to be crystal clear. XRP isn't just part of the story. It is the story.